Congressman, member of the House Homeland Security, Transportation, and Infrastructure Committees. Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Your reaction?
My reaction is just how much of this stuff can you take? You know, we've got to investigate there and find out what the log really shows, who was there, what did it have to do with Hunter Biden, why in God's name would you have... First of all, you know, let me back up for a second. This is classified information that a vice president was storing at his home. We'll just talk about the one piece, not even the Penn Center yet. And that is totally not allowable. I mean, it's a different situation when you have a president, Trump, declassify information as when you have a vice president who can't declassify and has it in his garage. You got to know it's a lot safer in Mar-a-Lago, I'm sure, in a very safe, you know, locked place to somebody's garage where he's got his Corvette. For God's sake, you get a twig underneath the garage door and it pops back open if you're familiar with the way these electric lock doors work. I mean, that's just no place to have it. What was really going on? What was Hunter doing? How is Ukraine involved? You know, Megan, what's been overwhelming, just as to digress for a second, there's so much stuff, truthfully, that the Democrats have done and that this administration has done to the American public and this country. If you didn't have your wits about it, you'd be overwhelmed.
Well, the American people are overwhelmed trying to hold it all together. Well, they're overwhelmed trying to hold their financial lives together because of the 40-year high inflation and their wages not keeping up with that inflation and struggling mightily every single day. That, quite frankly, if they aren't able to pay attention to all this malfeasance, all the shenanigans, we understand that.
Megan, you're absolutely right. And you know what I love is, well, either we've got to hope that we get into a recession to slow things down with the inflation, but then again, obviously things are slowed down and aren't as good and interest rates are up, or we didn't have any of this. I was just speaking to a colleague of mine. I am telling you that if President Trump was still the president of the United States, we would have the world on their knees begging for our oil. We would be energy rich. We'd be #1 in the world. We wouldn't have all of these issues, from the wall to everything else. And yet, when, you know, President Trump does something that they deem is inappropriate, which 99% of the time ends up that it really isn't such a big deal at all, they're all upset. But this thing over Biden, when I watched a lot of legacy news, they were talking about, well, this is a lot different. It's not the same thing as what, you know, President Trump did. Yeah, damn well, you're right. It's a lot different. It's a lot worse. And we've really got to dig into this and find out what's going on. How about China? The involvement with China, the involvement with Ukraine, the money that changed hands, the laptop. I mean, throwing guns away illegally, it just doesn't stop. So we have two things to do. We have to legislate, and we are, and we're going to continue to do that, because we can't only investigate, but we have to investigate as well. And quite frankly, we have to work hard and put a lot of hours in. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Right. Well, regular folks go to prison for what Hillary Clinton did.
Yep.
You know, the standard for Biden is clearly Hillary Clinton, who got off scot-free. And that obviously is what they're looking at. And on a gun charge, Kodak Black goes to prison. Will Hunter Biden? Let's move on.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, anybody else, you know, the most minor infraction, especially in some of these particular areas, the cities like Washington, New York, other areas, the most minor infraction, when somebody isn't doing anything wrong at all and makes a mistake, like if they don't have a carry permit, they leave their gun in their car, but they haven't done any harm to anybody ever, they'll go to jail sometimes. They'll put farmers in jail for making a mistake with their hunting rifles. But boy, you can do whatever you want when you're, you know, Biden or Hillary Clinton or a host of other people. We don't live in a free, and I hate to say this, it's going to be very harsh. We don't live in a completely free country anymore. where we get the truth and we know the truth at the highest level of our government, whether it is the FBI, the CIA, Department of Justice, they're not telling us the truth.
Well, we increasingly don't live in a nation and a society where we're free to choose what kind of stove we want to use. And
I'm not laughing.
The left,
I did a bill.
I know. That's what I'm going to ask you about. The left and the liberals and the Democrats like that. We're so quick to turn this issue back on conservatives and act as we are making it up. That we've gotten our knickers in a knot because we're just making it up. Since when have you rednecks been so upset about what kind of stove you cook your snap beans on? I'm trying not to curse, is what I'm doing.
So I know.
You're introducing legislation to stop the proposal of banning natural gas appliances. We're upset because we're tired of bureaucrats and politicians taking away stuff that we like and taking away our ability to make decisions about our own lives and about like what kind of car we drive, which is happening in California, or what kind of appliance we buy. Just so we know, Berkeley, California, and San Francisco and New York City have already banned gas stoves and other appliances in new buildings. So this is happening, and it's not happening because of asthma, and it's not happening because of the danger of cooking with gas in small residences. None of that is true. It is simply and purely because they want to ban fossil fuels, despite the fact that natural gas is used to produce at least half the electricity in New York State, for example. But continue, Congressman.
Well, here's their motto. Let's find out where the United States is strong, where it's powerful, where it can really do well, and make sure to stop whatever that is. Now, natural gas is an example of that. We can own that, and we can really do a job, as far as our economy and helping our economy. I mean, in New Jersey, it's about 2/3 of the people use natural gas stoves. In the country, it's about half. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, you have time to fool around with whether we can have natural gas stoves or not. This is all so absurd. It is all so inappropriate, and it should be illegal because you are taking away our rights. Damn it, if my wife, who likes to cook, and she happens to like natural gas, she should be able to go out and buy a natural gas stove, and a lot of people do. And it would also save money if they didn't artificially do a lot of the things that they're trying to do with our whole energy portfolio in America. I mean, they're trying to make us weaker. I said it from the beginning, man, years ago. They're trying to make us like every other country in the world. And I want us to be the #1 country in the world. And it's so easy for us to do. That stuff where President Trump sometimes has fun saying, you're going to get tired of winning. There's some truth to that. We can keep winning. We can keep being the best. We can be strong. And these people don't want us to be. There are billionaires around the world and in the United States that want to change the entire fabric of how our nation functions. I am tired of it. I'm sick to death of it. And I think a lot of people are.
I'll be using wood. Push me.
I've used wood, for years.
Wood's kind of sort of banned, Congressman, just so you know, nationwide and in a lot of states, but you'll push me, I'm building a bonfire. Catch me, there's a nice little park down the street from my apartment building. I'll be grilling some tofu each and every night. Congressman Jeff Van Drew,
that's called American spirit.
Stop me.
I'm not going to stop you. It's called American spirit. I'll be there right with you. I don't know if I'll be eating the tofu, but there's a lot. You grill some chicken on there, man. I'm with you.
What chap my backside about this so much is this has been going on for years, and there have been multiple articles written about it, and the Democrats start denying it immediately and act as if the conservatives are making it up. It's happening. I dare them to talk to Chinese Americans who use woks on gas and all of the restaurant owners in this nation who would, again, I dare them. Jeff Van Drew, Congressman, thank you so much.